with 10 wins, including 7 KOs. So the exciting Georgie Collins tops Fight Night again, and here's our commentary team of Jim Watt with Reg Guttridge.
So there it is then, Ron Hackett, the referee, just a very brief rundown then.
Seconds out, round 1.
Oh, right out from the bell, George Collins, the young hot prospect. Tried to stamp the authority on it. He's done it 10 times on the turn. Can he do it again? Mark Davey in the black trunks. Former lightweight, now moved up to the welterweight division. Quarter of a pound heavier at 10 stone 8.5. And certainly got plenty of support in the crowd, Mark Davey, as you would expect in Yorkshire. Collins has now been around a bit. He doesn't seem to mind fighting away from home. Hastings, Huddersfield, even Monte Carlo, Birmingham. He gets off the mark well, though, George Collins, because he's always in the gym with such good fighters. Sylvester Mitty, Prince Rodney, Terry Marsh. He boxes regularly with them. Finds no time at all to get off in the first round. Came up, of course, from the apprentice professional class, 4 2-minute rounds to the 8 3-minute rounds now, if it goes that long. Had 2 in the first round, his last 2 fights. It looks as though he's found a willing customer here, though, doesn't he? In Mark Davey. He wants to stand and trade punches a bit. People in the fight game would consider Collins has a very precocious talent indeed. So he lost his last amateur contest after having a tremendous run and winning 10 national titles. He likes to get out and make his mark early, Jim, doesn't he, Collins, these days?
Yeah, well, they've both gone off at a pace tonight. Davey's a bit heavier than we're used to seeing him, but he certainly looks lively enough. This has been a cracking pace since the first bell. And nobody's really got the upper hand yet, so it looks as though we're in for a treat. A little bit of pulling on there. A great borderline, isn't it, Jim, between confidence and overconfident. I certainly hope Collins is not going to be guilty of that. Well, Collins is a little bit loose tonight. He's left his chin hanging out a couple of times. Davey has connected but not troubled him any, but a little bit tighter I would prefer to see Collins, just a little bit tighter. Well, I tell you, this Yorkshire lad's more than a willing opponent, isn't he, as we get the countdown clock for the first. It looks as though he's certainly going to deprive him of the hat-trick, if nothing else. Well, there's the rundown then, and he's already decided that he knows what long-distance fights like now. After having 2 in the first round, at least he's got to come out for the second in this one. And it has been taken, the distance, of course. George Collins comes from Camberley in Surrey, which actually, a little place called Yateley is where he lives. It borders on Surrey, Hampshire and Berkshire. Mark Davey then. And that's the statistics for him. And I haven't seen much of him, actually. He boxed in the National Association of Boys Clubs in 80 and 81, a schools final, and the Meanwood Boxing Club at Leeds. 10 good wins he's had, stopped 4 of those. And of course he knows the strength of Collins, must have seen quite a bit of him during their amateur days. He's 22, Collins is 18. Second round, and a very lively start on the scheduled 8 round of this. So I would think, Jim, even after 3 minutes of boxing now, Collins having sparred with all these top guys in this Bankeris in London gymnasium, now realise a bit different when the real thing happens. Yeah, there's nothing like the real thing. Collins has a very good jab, and I think this is a nice time to start using it again.
I don't know if Davey has the power to hurt him at all, being that he's normally a lightweight. But it's pointless taking punches you don't have to take, and I think if Collins gets behind his jab and gets a bit of strength into it, I think he could knock the fight out of Davey. You know, what's the point in getting involved in a rough house if you don't have to?
Yep, them's my sentiments. Well, just strayed beyond the borderline there, but nobody seemed to worry about it, least of all Collins, wearing, of course, the obligatory foul-proof protectors. He's got into this habit, doesn't he, Jim, of dropping his hands a little bit. Admittedly, he does it out of distance, but I'm not sure it's a habit you should be getting into so early in his career.
It's not a good idea because you get away with these type of things at this level, but when you step up to the clever boys, the 10-round fighters, you can't do it then because in a split second they're on you, and if you're not protected at all times, you don't run into trouble. But nice punches from Collins there, good left hook.
The strength now, he's really laying in here, Collins. He opened up well, Davey, but Collins came back to meet him. What a good fight. And the crowd liked that one all right. And I think they were cheering what could be their man, of course, in Yorkshire. Well, he doesn't mind missing with a few as we can get some through there, Mark Davey. Well, even in 2 rounds, it was one of the best tests that Collins has had this. Andre Kimbu in Monte Carlo was pretty tough, and he'd boxed in the Olympic Games, although at the time he hadn't realised it.
Yeah, Kimbu was a good opponent, but he didn't fight at this pace. This is a tremendous pace tonight. So this is the 3rd warning for Collins. I think this is the old men tricks he's learning in the gym that you're talking about.
Yeah, he could do without that. It's not a good start for Collins to do that. You get the impression there's a little bit of desperation when he starts doing that kind of thing. Well, quite a soft bell again. I'm getting a bit tired of these soft bells. And the referee going over there again to Collins on his way back to scoring that round. There's Mark Davey then. 22, as I said, and he's really pumped himself up for this fight. He seems to fancy it. Last October, he fought Les Ramiki and Kevin Pritchard in his lightweight days. He's got a twin brother, by the way, Carl, who's having trials with the Featherstone Rovers Rugby League Club at the moment. Jim, have a look at this replay now.
Yeah, well, Collins' punch is a little bit more accurate, but Davey's always giving him trouble. There he's back with a nice left hook of his own. Collins seems to have the strength. Whenever there's an exchange, Collins has the last word. But Davey, as I say, is giving him plenty of trouble, and Davey seemed quite pleased with himself at the end of that round there.
Seconds out. Round 3.
Into the 3rd round then. And it really has been quite a bit of a welterweight war in its way. A couple of lads full of running and full of good punches. Obviously, so many lads about today really would like to try and beat the new hot shot in the fight game. Getting quite a bit of financial backing, of course, from promoter and manager Frank Warren. When they made this match, I'm glad to say that they knew Davey would, as they say, come to fight. And he's certainly doing that. Good accurate left-hand punching nonetheless from Collins. Finds a good range find that, he finds that, Jim, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, I think this is a good night to get the jab back out of the cupboard and start using it. Because he does have a good jab, he gets a nice bit of snap into the punch. But he's never been able to subdue Davey at all. Davey's full of running. I thought that the difference in strength would have been telling by now. But Davey still wants to push him back, still throwing plenty of punches himself.
Kicks a handy body punch now and again, Collins, that's the same. He switches punches well from head to body. Very mature lad for 18, there's no doubt about it. Both physically and in head at times, I think, too. Yes, it looks as though he might have Davey on the hook a little bit here. Minute to go then in the third. Oh, good right hand. He's dropped that one down at an arc that's difficult to get away from. He's got to watch turning his back on an opponent like that, Jim, as he walked away there, Collins.
Yeah, well, a lot of talent, but obviously still a bit to learn. But this is a hard fight for him, and a good match, and it's not a bad performance. I don't think there's any easy way to cope with Davey. You just have to stand there and try and blast him out, because he's full of running himself, and Collins is doing all right here. It'd be nice to step back and give himself a little bit of room, get the longer punches going, don't get too involved. But having said that, there is no easy way to fight this man Davey. And as I say, Collins is doing fine. He's having the last word in most of the exchanges.
Have a look at some of that now in replay. The right hands that Collins was sinking in were counting a bit there, but certainly Davey, there it is there, just chopped that one down.
Seconds out, round 4.
And we're into the fourth round then of the scheduled 8 welterweight scrap. And Mark Davey in the black trunks from Wakefield. Actually, Rothwell lives. It's really giving the, well, he's not a Cockney kid, nicknamed Boy George. Matter of fact, I gave him that nickname. He's really out of Surrey, but he trains all the time in London. Punch up it is in the cork, standing there trading. What a good fight, Jim.
Yeah, well, Collins took a right hand in the chin at the start of the round, and he dropped his hands and stepped back. He ended up taking another one. A little bit tighter, we want George, but a cracking fight. I think they're both maybe feeling the pace a little bit now.
Well, it's possible, really, that George Collins is learning more in this 4 rounds than he's learned in the previous 10 wins.
See, he's just too loose in situations like this. He should be tightening up, keeping his hands up and keeping his chin nice and tense. Oh, good, nice little body shot, I think, there.
Yeah, it looked as though it was Davey that was going to do it, but it was a shorter punch from Collins that did that. And he's trying it again. Exposes his chin a bit, George Collins, when he's laying in, but he's got such good strength and accuracy with his own punches that counteracts the strength of the opponent. Well, I don't know, he's looking a bit shaky too, Collins, Jim, isn't he, or not? Or is it my imagination?
I think he's maybe feeling the pace a little bit. I don't know if the punches are shaking him, if he's just feeling a little bit tired, because he has set a pace, and this has been a cracker all the way through.
Oh, what a punch up.
See, an 18-year-old boy, you don't want to see him getting involved in fights like this too soon. There's a good right hand he had to take, bang on the chin then. See, he's too loose, he has to tighten up a bit here.
Well, this is where they get the old Barry McGuigan touch, take a deep breath and steam back in again and apply pressure. Well, anybody that was riding off Mark Davies' chances before this fight, they are really wrong. Well, for a fellow that went down, Davey, he came back well in that round, but he's well under pressure now as he sinks those punches in, but he's still holding his head a bit high there, Collins, but the sheer ferocity of those to the body as we get the countdown to the end of the round. And the bell really do him a favour there, but almost fighting on afterwards. And a real slump on the school job there with Davey. So there he is, he got Davey pinned in the corner there. And although, as I said, he holds his head high, Collins, he throws so many punches that eventually the right one must get through. And the power of the punch, and I think the sheer fatigue, he went down there, Davey. Let's have a look at that close-up now from a different angle, that firing the punches in, Jim.
Yeah, when he gets a man in any kind of trouble, Collins can let the punches roll. He could take a chance here because he had Davey in under so much pressure. And a nice bit of pressure fighting from Collins then.
Seconds out. Round 5.
Into the 5th round then. And although Mark Davies been down briefly a couple of times, he still has a bit of fight left in him. And there's a great deal of tension in Collins' punches. I think that probably adds to what appears to be tiredness to him. He's no doubt he'll deny that.
Yeah, well, it's a tremendous pace. No matter how fit you are, if you're fighting at this pace, the pace has got to tell on you. See, Collins has a lot of boxing ability, but I don't think he uses enough of it. I think he opens up too soon in fights when the other fellow's still strong. He should stand back for a couple of rounds, use the jab. He's been warned again for pulling on. But he has the talent. He should stand back for a couple of rounds and chisel the man down a little bit and then move in with the big guns. But Collins wants to move in straight away in the first round knockouts. And it doesn't always work, and sometimes you end up with a fight like this.
He's got to watch that pulling the opponent on. He looked a bit severe there, Mr. Hackett, the referee. They're starting to flag again a bit, Davey. Having said that, he throws a counter punch and the crowd give it the big cheer. But he really is flagging, Jim, isn't he? Fighting from all heart now.
But he's still managing to get a bit of power into his punches, and he caught Collins with his head up in the air and it with a left hook and then with another right hand in, and he's pushing Collins back now. He doesn't lack any courage, that's for sure, Mr. Davey.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, good shot.
Oh, he caught him, counter-punched him well there. He looked as though Davey was going to get through, and he just beat him to the punch.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
No, 9 3/4 and let him box on. But it looks as though he's going to stop him in the 5th yet. It's all over. I agree with the referee there because he was tired. I don't know why the crowd boo those sort of things, Jim. I don't know whether they're booing the winner or booing the stoppage. But if it was the stoppage, then that was a little bit severe because he was in trouble and he did the right thing, the referee. So it's the 11th win then for George Collins, and he had to do it the hard way.
Yeah, a good performance there. A little bit loose at times. But as I said, there was no easy way to beat Davey. Davey was here to win all right. So Collins kept the pressure on him. When he saw his chance, he moved in with some good punches. A good performance.
So let's have a look at that finish now. And that was the point there. He met him punch for punch, and there was just a slight delay as Davey went down, but it was a cracking right-hander. So after that exciting win then for Collins, it's a break for us, but we'll be right back with Gary Newbon talking to the winner.